It's Slash a Snake Pick right here on the Classic Metal Show, featuring Eric Dover on lead vocal with the Beggars and Hangers On.
All right.
And we understand what that's all about, right, Chris?
Just ask Moogle.
I love that. All right. Well, people are talking in the chat room that, we are falling back. I hate this time of year. This of all the times in the year, I hate this time of year. I don't know why we still do this. I mean, do the farmers really need to have the clocks turned back an hour?
No.
I wish they would just leave it alone.
I mean, is that the only reason for the farmers?
Well, that was the original intent of this changing the time, as it was for the farmers. And I'll tell you a quick story. My grandfather, my dad's father, the people on my dad's side were all farmers. They came from southern Kentucky, and that's how they made their living. They were farming.
Okay.
And my grandfather was a lifelong Democrat because, back in the, early days, the Democrats supposedly stood for the quote unquote the working man or the poor man or whatever. Yeah. And my grandpa, God rest his soul, very wise man, very resourceful guy, made his way through life with very little education, did okay for himself. But I remember as a younger man myself, I was preteen or maybe a teenager at the time, we were discussing this whole kicking back the clocks, turn the clocks back.
Right.
And he was basically saying that, the people who want the clocks left, in the position, for later in the day where the sun is shining later in the day, is for the rich man. Because they want time after work to be going out to the golf courses and to use his vernacular to be able to go out and jockey around.
Jockey around?
That was his term, jockey around.
Nice.
He said, guys, the rich man likes the time later in the day, so he can go out and jockey around after work.
Nice.
But the guys who work hard and work on the farm, we need the light earlier in the morning because we're out working the fields.
Right. And then when we get home, we just want to eat some food and go right to sleep.
More or less. Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. I had no idea there was any sort of meaning at all. I'll be honest, I'd never have thought about it until this very moment.
But that's exactly what he taught me as a young lad.
Young Wendell, come sit on my knee and hear a story.
More or less, yeah. More or less.
It's funny.
And the whole look at Aora Rocks with those horse memes.
What the hell?
Now that's a Halloween costume that I'm going to complain to the local establishment about.
ASPCA or something.
Yeah, look, he's wearing like a hooded cape type thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, they're having like muzzle fights or something.
That's BHLM, Black Horse Lives Matter.
Exactly.
That is a ridiculous meme. Jesus.
So anyway, that's what I learned as a youngster.
Well, there you go.
Look at that meme, but of the furry that furry dog coming out of that gate.
That's Moogle.
I see that.
Moogle's just showing up. Hey, what's up?
Holy shit, that's funny. But me personally, being that I'm an affluent guy who likes to jockey around after work.
Yeah, there you are.
I wish they would leave the clocks alone.
Yeah, need to do some jockeying.
Yeah, I hate this time of year.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Well, speaking of a jockey, one of our biggest fans and nemesis, Eddie Trunk.
Is he our nemesis?
Well, not really.
Your nemesis.
Not mine. not really. But anyway, apparently Doc McGhee, super manager, who is, managed the likes of Motley Crue, and of course he's currently involved with Kiss, and I think he was involved with Skid Row, and he's been involved with some of the biggest bands of mostly the 80s, as well as a whole cavalcade of other bands.
Right.
But Doc McGhee is a well-known name in the music business, especially in hard rock.
Sure.
Classic metal, if you will. Well, apparently Eddie Trunk, who has had his fallout with Paul Stanley of Kiss.
And Corey Harker of Uncontrolled Toys.
Apparently, Doc McGhee was supposed to appear on the Eddie Trunk show.
Okay.
And minutes before he was supposed to appear, he canceled.
Okay.
And so Eddie, of course, is wearing this like a badge of honor that somehow the great manager, Doc McGhee, has canceled on him, and he thinks he's like a force, like a Howard Stern now.
Because Doc McGhee canceled?
Yes. Because he thinks Doc McGhee is running away from him because he's so scary talented and has such a large voice in the community.
Was this going to be like a controversial interview?
No, I think it was just, he was just supposed to have Doc McGhee as one of his guests.
Okay.
And he's thinking, he being Eddie Trunk, is thinking the reason Doc McGhee has canceled at the last minute is because of his ongoing disagreement with one of his biggest clients, that being Paul Stanley of Kiss.
Oh.
So he's thinking that Paul Stanley said, don't go on that fucking guy's show. He's an asshole.
Well, maybe he did.
I don't know if that's the case, but this is the speculation that Eddie Trunk has about the reason Doc McGhee pulled out of the interview at the last minute.
Eddie made a statement about this?
He did.
About somebody pulling out of an interview?
He did.
You know how many times that happens?
Well, Eddie's live on the air, on the air, be it XM Radio.
Okay.
And Doc McGhee was supposed to call into the show.
Yeah.
And then canceled. So Eddie goes on this whole tirade about Doc McGhee canceling a show and thinking the reason Doc McGhee canceled was because he was afraid of Eddie Trunk.
Wow, I bet he was.
Fearful.
He's probably only made, what, about $100 million in his life?
At least.
He saw it all going away with this Eddie Trunk interview.
Sure, absolutely.
Canceled immediately.
Well, I got this from John Phillips.
All right.
He said, did you see this? It's all I, me, myself. So should we play this?
Oh, is there audio? I love it.
Oh, there is audio. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, we should absolutely play it.
All right, let's play some. Here we go.
Very excited about this. We got a great lineup of guests outside of today, breaking news, which we'll get into in just a second. But we have a tremendous lineup of guests. What else can I tell you? Well, let's get right into it here because we're going to have a lot of time to talk to you guys. And the toll-free number is 844-686-5863. That's 844-6-VOLUME.
All right. The CMS studio line is 800-497-5891.
Uh-huh.
You're not the only one with a toll-free number, Ed.
Yeah, he is.
I've had a toll-free number for 15 years.
Are you competing with Ed Trump?
I am. I'm competing. I have a toll-free number, 800-497-5891. That's the toll-free number.
And we got the original, pal, the 800.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you a goddamn dime to call us.
We're not like you with your 844 number.
Yeah.
We have an 800 number.
What a fag.
What a fucking catching up after it's already been taken.
Yeah. Poser.
Million people in front of you, dickhead.
Poser.
Faggot.
All right, here we go.
Look at your screen right now.
If you're tired of the hide-and-seek games with big tech, where links disappear and episodes get throttled, I've got the fix. I'm Chris Akin, and it's time for me to show you how to take back your access to the Classic Metal Show, the Seth Williams Show, and Chris Akin Presents. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play, and download the Locals app. It is 100% free. Once you're in, just search for the CMS Network. You're going to see everything. Every interview, every unfiltered rant, every deep dive music discussion, every uncensored news article we put up, all in one centralized, uncensored hub. No more chasing links across 5 different socials. This is our home. But if you really want the keys to the kingdom, look for that VIP upgrade. For just $4.99 a month, you're cutting out the commercials, getting the advance drops before anyone else, and accessing bonus episodes that are way too heavy, dirty, or we just don't want to share with the free public. For the price of a cheap beer, you're supporting independent, unapologetic media. Download the Locals app today. Get some CMS wherever you are, and if you're a real one, join the VIP squad at classicmetalshow.locals.com. The Classic Metal Show and the CMS Network. It's uncensored. It's unapologetic. We will see you there.
And we'll take your calls about anything you might want to talk about. But one of the guests that I was really excited about having on today in the studio with me, and I only literally found out minutes ago will not be joining me anymore, is legendary rock manager Doc McGhee.
Will not be joining me anymore.
Yeah.
Does that mean he won't be joining me today, or he will never be joining me ever again?
Well, I'm just going to make a statement. It probably was that day until he went on the air talking about it.
Anymore.
And now it will be forever.
Right.
I mean, why would he go back on the show now after he's going to get trashed? Hey, he's not coming back.
Okay.
He's going to be like, fuck you, pal.
Now, I don't know Doc McGhee all that well. I've met him a couple times. I know some people in his office over the decades of working in the music business myself.
Me.
After decades of working in the music business myself.
I don't know Doc McGhee well, but I know people in his office, and I have run into him a few times, and I know that he was going to call.
Right.
I know some people who very close working with him, and I know we have many, many mutual friends.
I know many people that are very close.
Holy shit.
In fact, I know people that might be even closer to Doc than Doc is.
Right.
I know everyone.
Exactly.
I have been in the industry longer than anyone. I invented the industry. When I was at Metal Force, in fact, when I started Metal Force, forget Joey Z. It was me, Eddie Trunk, and those other guys.
Right.
Dude, step back a little bit, dude. We get it. You've met the guy. Okay. How many examples of how many rings closer does he have to get before we get you've met the guy? He says he doesn't know him that well, but correct me if I'm wrong on this, dude. He said first, I don't know him very well.
Right.
But then he went 5 rings in on who everybody that basically Doc has ever encountered that he knows. Correct?
That's what he said.
So if you know all those people, how do you not barely know this guy? How does that happen? If you know everybody around him, wouldn't you know him? Do you know John Levin?
I do know John Levin.
Do you know George Lynch?
A little bit.
Do you know Jeff Pilson?
I know him well.
Do you know Chris McCarville?
Very well.
Do you know who was the guy before him? The singer guy.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Why can't I think of his name? But anyway.
You know him too, right?
A little bit.
You know Mick Brown?
Very well.
You know, the drummer before that fills in for Mick Brown. What's his name now?
BJ Sampa.
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah, I do know him a little bit.
Yeah. So, do you know Fingers?
Very well.
Do you know anybody else in the docking camp?
Barry Sparks.
Yeah, you know Barry Sparks.
I know Barry Sparks pretty well.
You met Red Beach?
Very much so. I talked to him Friday.
Yeah. So now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. By knowing all those people, odds are good that you know Don Dokken.
Probably.
So he's on a different plane, I guess, with this.
You're just tuning in. It's Eddie Trunk Live. Now, everybody knows that I reunited Dokken and Lynch together on that metal show. Myself. I got Twisted Sister back together. Myself. You know, I don't want to take total credit for this, but it is a little bit strange how there's been somewhat of a UFO renaissance in the last few years since I've been screaming about UFO on my TV and radio shows. Myself. 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 And it's the one band that's probably benefited the most from me doing that metal show on VH1 Classic. Myself. I just edited myself. Freudian slip there.
And we were looking for Mark Bowles.
Mark Bowles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what is wrong with Ed? Why does he need to have credit for everything?
Well, because I think that at this stage in his career, and I've said this before, I don't think he believes he gets the accolades that he thinks he deserves. So it's like he has to point it out to everybody.
But some of it is just flat out kind of not true. Like, do you, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just don't see it because I'm not a fan of this band. Do you think that there's a UFO renaissance?
I don't think so.
And they put out a record every couple of years, and then we don't hear about them again.
Right.
Then 2 years later, they put out another record. And that's about it. How many UFO requests have we gotten in the history of the show?
Hardly ever.
2?
Yeah.
2 in 21 years? Yeah, I mean, come on. It's not like now every week we're coming back and people say, dude, you got to play something else from the Monkey Puzzle, dude. 7 Deadly, that record rocked. UFO is back.
So over the years, the times I've seen Doc have always been very cordial. And I don't know the man well enough to tell you one thing or another about anything more than that. I was very, very much looking forward to spending a good hour and a half with him today to get to know him and to get into his career and talk about all of the artists that he has managed. And there are many, from Bon Jovi to Scorpions to Skid Row to Kiss. Did I mention he manages Kiss currently? To Kiss. He also has he has Down, which my good friend Snake Sabo manages out of his office. He has a band called Vintage Trouble that's very cool. Hootie and the Blowfish. I think he manages Darius's solo career. Does he also manage? No, just Hootie. He doesn't have Hootie anymore. Oh, he's...
I didn't know Hootie was still a name.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I know Darius Rucker's a kind of a big country star now. But...
Sure. I didn't even know Darius was still doing any Hootie stuff.
No, he should. Hootie ruled. But that's a whole nother issue.
No longer with. Okay, well, he had Hootie. There's
Who's
a
he
lot of bands
talking
he
to?
had.
Who's he talking
He's
to?
probably talking to his producer.
Oh, he's got a real producer, unlike us.
Yeah, unlike us, we got a fake producer.
Got a fake producer.
we do this whole show by ourselves.
We do.
Somehow we managed to engineer this whole show and record it and put it in podcast form and do this all by ourselves.
Would it be funny if he really doesn't have a producer there? And he's
He was just like pretending he's like Rush.
Yeah, like he's Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, he's like, talking like he's got somebody in the booth.
Right. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, that's what I think too. Just make it up on the fly.
I think I'll just have Wheezy here in the studio every week, whether he's here or not.
Right.
Which he's never been here.
Right. And you just be like, Wheezy, what do you think?
Wheezy, cue that up for me, will you? All right, get me that clip.
Thanks, Wheezy.
Get Eric on the phone, will you? Yeah, we got Eric coming up here in the next hour. All right. What's that? Okay. All right, we'll make do. Okay. Hang on a minute. What's that?
Get that Doc McGhee clip ready.
What's that? Apparently, Doc McGhee is canceled.
Thanks, Wheezy.
That I mentioned. The one that I can tell, the ones I know he has currently: Vintage Trouble, Down, Kiss. Did I mention Kiss? Yeah, Kiss.
Yeah, you mentioned that Kiss. Hang on a minute. Hey, can we get Paul on the phone? Weezy? Can't get Paul on the phone tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Wheeze.
Gene's available, right? Did I mention we're kind of dicks?
Yeah. Right after he mentioned Kiss again.
And he had Scorpions, he had Bon Jovi at their height, he had Motley Crue at their height. And I'm sure he has amazing stories. I've heard some of them because...
Why does he emphasize he had Motley Crue? He had Bon Jovi. He had... Like he fucked up and lost him or something?
Yeah, they just quit him.
Because this guy's a failure!
Wheezy! Find out why those guys left. All right, let me know.
Get Nikki on the phone. Let's find out what the real story with Doc is.
Yeah, and call John Bon Jovi, too.
Yeah. Hey, get that cocksucker on the line, will ya, Wheezy?
Hey, what do you mean he won't call? Get him on the line! I'm going to need you to be a little more forceful than that, Wheezy, if you want to be part of this operation.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be a little more proactive as the producer. I could find somebody who could do your job, pal. Fuck you.
This ain't like Dockin' where we can't find a sound guy. Don't get a producer.
Because my good friend, Chris Jericho...
Everybody's his good friend. My good friend.
Hey, Wheezy, get my good friend Philip Anselmo back on the line. Hurry it up. He's expecting me. He's always expecting my call. Yeah, call him. No, use the direct line, not the regular line.
I know.
The one that's his cell phone.
I know it's only 2:00 in the morning. He should be up. He'll be doing speed.
He'll take it from us. He'll take a call from us.
Who does a podcast. Doc was a guest on that podcast, and I listened to that episode, and I found it very entertaining. And I would have loved to have dove into some of those stories and many, many more with him in his career. But unexpectedly, he canceled literally minutes ago.
He just showed his quote-unquote his trump card.
Right.
His trump card, as I'll call it, because he's jealous of Jericho. That's what this is.
It is.
He's jealous that Jericho got him and he got canceled on.
On a show that we had booked him on and that we had cleared a great amount of time and also told a number of artists that we were unavailable to have them in today or on because we were committed to...
A number of artists.
Probably 50 or more.
How many people are lining up to get on the Eddie Trunk Show?
I got to think in an hour and a half, 75 bands.
A number
of artists.
Really?
He canceled on every band that's ever had success so that Doc McGhee could come on. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. A number.
A number, like 1, maybe.
Having Doc. Now, Doc, being a manager and being on the other side of booking guests for events, surely knows that it is pretty much out of the norm and out of the realm of any sort of business etiquette to cancel on somebody literally minutes before you're supposed to show up on their program.
Amateur! Weezy, get him on the phone, goddammit! Damn, what a faggot.
You know, do you not... He's never had Doc on his show before, I'm assuming.
Apparently not, no.
Do you not... and maybe this is just me being a pussy. Maybe I could learn from Ed. Do you not, on this circumstance, with a guy that is a well-known professional, give him at least one round of the benefit of the doubt? If he just canceled minutes ago, as Eddie is saying here, which is starting to sound a little fishy to me, but if he literally just canceled minutes ago, don't you, I mean, who's to say his kid isn't fucking in the hospital? His wife fell down the steps. His car broke down, whatever. Right? I mean, this seems like awful lot of jumping all the way on the fuck this guy bandwagon without ever having a chance to say, all right, well, we'll call him back after the show and we'll see if we can't reschedule for next week or something.
Fuck all that shit. Weezy, get Thayer on the phone.
Thayer.
God damn it. Doc won't show up. At least somebody from the... Fuck Doc.
What do you think? Do you think that this is a little bit of bullshit?
Of course it is.
I think Doc canceled earlier in the day.
This is butthurt Eddie.
But don't you think Doc canceled earlier?
Yeah, of course. He didn't cancel minutes ahead.
Minutes before the interview?
No, he canceled like hours ahead. And it's like, well, how are we going to fill this time? Well, let's get one of those numerous bands that were lining up to be on the show.
Yeah. Well, there could be bands that want to be on his show. I'm sure there are. But
I'm sure there are.
But, I just... It just seems like too fast of a fuck you jump if you really wanted to interview the guy in the first fucking place. Doesn't it? Or am I reading way too much into that?
No, I think you're correct. But, you and I have been doing this a long time, so we kind of know a lot of, the juxtaposition that goes on with this.
Sure.
And I guarantee you it didn't happen minutes ahead.
I mean, it just seems like if it happened a couple of minutes ago, that you find out why first before you start smashing the guy in the fucking face. Oh, that's my only point. And Eddie usually is pretty, never has a shitty word to say about anybody.
Sure.
This seems like a quick jump.
I agree.
Right? Interesting.
Weezy, see if anybody from Sweet FA is available, will you?
Sweet FA? Damn, you're making Weezy into a fucking world-class producer if you can do that fast. Jesus.
So good.
Sweet FA.
Yeah, I thought that would be a good throwback.
Good throwback. No one remembers those guys.
Of course, that's why it was funny.
Sweet FA.
And there is only one explanation for this cancellation, folks. There really is.
Oh,
what do you think the only reason?
Because Paul Stanley told him not to.
I'm thinking that might be the case.
All right.
Plus, Paul Stanley said, this guy's an asshole. Don't go on his show.
Yeah.
And that is the fact that everybody knows that for 10, 15 years now, that, I'm not going to say kiss, but that Paul Stanley specifically does not like me.
Look, everybody, I have spent 30 years in the loudest rooms in the world, and I can tell you one thing for certain. I've got zero time for weak coffee or woke nonsense. Guess that's actually two things I don't care. If you're like me, you're tired of giving up your money to corporate sellouts who hate your values. You want a brew that's as unapologetic as a Marshall stack cranked to 11. Enter Blackout Coffee. This is bold, fresh roasted, 100% American grit in a cup. It's fuel for patriots who refuse to back down. Whether you're hitting the Patriot medium roast or the massive high caffeine kick of brutal awakening, this is the taste of real freedom and hard-hitting flavor. Stop supporting the bland beans of companies that don't stand for you. Head over to blackoutcoffee.com right now. Use my code, which is in the description, for an exclusive discount. You can save. It's time to wake up unstoppable. Blackout Coffee, folks. Fuel for patriots. Get yours now.
Why is that? Why could that possibly be?
Okay, well, what's wrong with him, Ed? Because clearly it can't be a valid reason. Because you're Eddie Trunk.
Not like me because I have a platform and a voice and an opinion about things.
So does every other fucking journalist that Paul does interviews with. Every week.
And Paul Stanley plays stadiums worldwide.
Paul Stanley can reach 3 million people a year if he wants to without fucking any press.
Right.
And I welcome and appreciate other opinions as well. And I love engaging in debate and dialogue.
No, you don't.
Who is he engaged in debate and dialogue with? Maybe he does. Who? Name somebody. Who's he debated with? Don't say us. He hasn't debated with us.
He hasn't debated with us.
I was going to say. He voiced something and I fucking swatted him. And that was the end of the debate.
I don't know. Who is he debating?
No, I don't know that he's debated anybody.
He's the least controversial person out there.
I mean, he is a little more aggressive on his podcast.
Yeah, but he's certainly not doing that on his commercial outlets.
No, maybe the new show, maybe the new talking show. He's more controversial. I don't know.
All right.
But I have it on very good authority here, and it's as obvious as the nose on my face, that this cancellation took place because Doc found out, for whatever reason, Doc didn't know that I hosted this show.
Wait a minute.
Isn't this called Eddie Trunk Live?
How did he not know that?
It's called Eddie Trunk Live.
First of all, he just said literally 2 sentences before that everybody knows that him and Paul Stanley have a problem.
Well,
right?
Again, this is this whole grandiose attitude that, everybody knows who I am.
Well, but if everybody knows, going under his premise that everybody knows,
then Doc McGhee should have known.
Wouldn't you think one of the first ones to know would be the guy that is employed by the guy you have a problem with? Yes? No?
You would think if everybody knows.
Everybody knows, then I would think that would be the first one that knows. And then and if he didn't know, he might still see the name Eddie Trunk Live and go, I wonder who hosts that. The fuck? Holy smokes.
Wheezy, see if anybody from Unruly Child is available. I got an hour and a half to fill here.
Who's that you got? Who is that, Wheezy? David Ash? Daniel Ash? It's got Daniel Ash for you, Neely, for Sweet FA.
All right.
Do you want to take that call now?
Sure, absolutely.
Wheezy, put it. What do you mean he hung up? This isn't the Eddie Trunk Show, Wheezy. This is the fucking classic metal show. No one hangs up on us. He'll get him back.
You think Marcy Free is available?
What do you mean she's getting her penis waxed?
his assistant or what have you, he said, only told him that he was coming to do an interview on Sirius XM, not an interview with Satan himself, Eddie Trunk.
Oh, stop it. You're not that controversial, Eddie.
Satan himself.
Satan himself.
Well, that seems like a bit of a reach.
It is. You're the least controversial guy I ever met. And I've hung out with you half a dozen times.
I don't know. He caused controversy on this show when he threw away your shirt.
Yeah, he did.
That was controversial.
Nobody told him that. Nobody told him that he was coming to sit with the devil on Halloween.
Shut up.
What a dick. Jesus Christ. I don't have a problem with Ed, but come on, dude. Little full of yourself here.
And when he found that out, I'm certain that a one Mr. Stanley, who I also promoted on social media that Doc was going to be in. I'm sure that he threw a hissy fit, and maybe he didn't even have to throw a hissy fit and just basically sent a text or a note to Doc, and Doc immediately turned his car around and said, "Whoa!
Stop it!"
So, whoa!
So Paul Stanley saw it on social media and threw a hissy fit.
And this all happened in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, and he turned his car around.
Yeah. First of all, you've driven in New York traffic, right?
Yes.
You've done that before?
Many times.
Okay, when you do that, would you be just now pulling up to a show that you're supposed to do right now? Or would you have, with the ridiculous traffic the way it is there? Or would you be there in advance because you have no idea how long it's going to take to get there?
Yeah. He went, whoa! I'm going to do an interview with that guy? Fuck that shit.
Yeah. Doc, you better get off that show. You're going to have to get yourself a new job. Well, I'm turning around.
Right. Pretty equal.
About the same.
Can't go on with that guy. God forbid.
Shut up, Eddie. Jesus Christ. You're not that big.
It is laughable, and it's hysterical, and in a way, it's extremely flattering.
Oh, Jesus.
It really is. You got to understand something. There's a history here, you guys. Paul Stanley had me banned a few years ago from a KISS mini golf event. I'm not kidding you. I wish I could make this up. I was supposed to do an appearance at a KISS mini golf in Vegas. And then the day before I got there, he told the owners of the mini golf, who just licensed the name, that they couldn't have me in the building. Now, you would say to yourself, what possibly could this guy, who, by the way, has been a lifelong KISS fan, who played every era of KISS and still does, who does yearly all KISS radio specials, what possibly could this guy have done? Did I rob money from them? Did I injure one of their loved ones? It's hysterical.
All right, get back to Doc.
The sensitivity is hysterical. And Paul Stanley, in his own book, writes about his unbelievable sensitivity. But can you... Again, I'm flattered by this. My hero in radio.
All right, here we go.
Neely? Is that his hero in radio? Wendell Neely?
He's going to start comparing himself to Howard Stern.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm serious.
All right.
Was, is, and always has been Howard Stern. Do you know how many people eventually would not do Howard Stern's show, but have now done it because they can't get away from it? I mean, it's happened, and there's 1,000 cases of that. Because Howard told it like it is and stuck to his guns and called people out. And to think that my career has gotten into the realm. There's so many people that also steer away from Howard because, God forbid, what he may say or what he may ask, he's actually going to do a real interview. He's actually educated. There's a ton of people that do interviews. They don't want an educated interviewer. They want somebody to sit down and simply say, hey, so tell us about your new record, and get all the PC, politically correct bullshit answers, basically spitting back their press release to you, and walk out the door. They sold their stuff. They're on their way. That's what most artists want. They don't want to answer a tough question. They don't want anybody who truly knows what's going on. Not most, but some, especially if you are hypersensitive. And again, Paul Stanley, by his own admission, is hypersensitive. Read his book.
I don't know that we've ever had that problem with bands. And we ask everybody hard questions.
I think we do the most honest interviews, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly don't do a whole lot of the, hey, where'd you record at?
Right.
You know, hell, when I ask a question that's like a radio question, I almost apologize for it first. Because I feel bad asking a stupid radio. I did that with Phil. I think I even said to him, I said, this is a dumb question, but what does the title of this record mean? Because I didn't know what it meant. Okay. Well, Ed Stern here is he's making good points. Howard Trunk here. I think it's a valid point, sir.
Sure.
Opie and Eddie show.
Right.
Is he not doing his job either?
Well,
Shit.
he's dialing phones like crazy.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He is.
As long as he's trying.
He is. He's trying to fill that hour and a half that we got open because that fucking faggot Doc McGhee canceled out.
Right.
Hey, we could fill the whole hour and a half with Bruce Dickinson. Why don't you call him up? Stop fucking around.
I told him.
You did. Is he running now?
He is.
All right, good.
So no one is going to tell me what's really happened here. And I don't blame Doc McGhee. I don't know Doc McGhee. Great for Doc. I understand that his biggest client
stop.
He doesn't want him to do an interview.
Oh, stop. He said, what, 2 minutes ago? He does know Doc McGhee.
Well,
now
he said at the beginning that he doesn't know him that well. He knows people in the camp.
But he said he knew him, met him a few times.
Yeah,
now he just said he doesn't know him.
Yeah, he said, I don't know Doc McGhee.
Yeah, which is it? Story changed in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
On a radio show. Of course Doc isn't going to do it. You think Doc is going to jeopardize a relationship with his cash cow to come and sit and talk to me?
Please. You're not that significant, Eddie.
Well, maybe he is. Maybe we just don't understand his greatness.
I don't agree.
I think he is that big.
Really?
I think Eddie is as big as Howard Stern in like 95, 96.
Please.
That's what I'm thinking. Probably, and you know, his next contract was serious. I mean, I know he just signed this one now for, you know, whatever, $500 a week or whatever. But I'm sure his next contract will be the one for $200 million, like Howard.
Sure.
Because they're on the same plane.
Well, apparently he is now.
Well, yeah. So he should get the same money.
You would think.
Well, he's telling us that they're the same. You know, people fear him like they did Howard.
Perhaps.
Is that how it is, Wheezy? Is that why people aren't coming on our show? Because they're afraid of Eddie? Is that what's going on here?
He said he'll get back to me on that.
All right.
Kendall Peters, Shadow Steel is big.
What was his band name?
Who?
Roxy Blue.
Roxy Blue. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, Wheezy, you still got Kevin Dubrows' cell?
All right. A little bit more of this.
All right.
Because Paul told him not to do it.
Yeah, he did. I'm sure he did.
So I don't blame Doc for this. It's a dick move. You'd love to see the guy step up and say, no, listen, I manage other bands besides you. This has been promoted. We're going to talk about it, and I'll answer how I answer. But, of course, he's not going to do that. He's going to cave. This is a cash cow for him. So I don't blame him for doing it. But I am empowered by
myself.
This, to me, I cannot tell you enough. When things like this happen, it is a huge compliment to me.
No, it's not, because you wouldn't be going on and on for 10 minutes about it if it was.
A compliment. You're so scary talented.
It's so very clear that he's butthurt about this.
Of course he is.
He's not taking this as a compliment.
This is a compliment because I'm so scary talented.
He's totally taking this as a
slap in the face. People are running away from me because I'm so awesome.
If there is a real producer that took this call, he would have asked, well, can we reschedule? And what, Doc said no? Never? I'm lost on the premise of how he's trying to portray this like it's fucking all in this immediate time frame. I can't believe that. And I'll give Eddie. Eddie is definitely the biggest name of classic metal DJs, I guess. You know? And with that said, and with his reputation, I cannot believe for 1 second that he would just cut the throat in like a second like this without saying, oh, well, what's going on? What happened? How come you're canceling?
Well, there's more to the story. You know that.
I know, but for him to shit on this guy like this on the air, man. I mean, we've done that before with Kingdom Come comes to mind immediately. But but we didn't do it the first time that we were canceled. We did it after I got into it with his brother.
Right.
But when he first canceled, we didn't shit on him. Remember, because he was supposed to call in live?
Yeah, and then his brother's like, I'm going to sue you if you play their tunes and all this other shit. And we did talk to Lenny.
Yeah.
And we told him, he's just like, I got to have a talk with him.
Yeah, and he straightened it out.
Yeah.
And then we had Lenny back on like 2 other times, I think.
Lenny's a good guy. He seems to like us.
Yeah, I like Lenny. He retired.
No.
Yeah, he did.
Lenny Wolf?
Lenny Wolf retired like 3 months ago.
Really? I thought he was trying to get the original Kingdom Come back together.
Nope. He put out a thing on his website, said, you know what, it's time to be done.
I was never aware of that.
Yeah, he retired. He said he's done with it.
Get Lenny Wolf on the phone, Wheezy. God damn it.
What's Wheezy been doing? He missed that booking.
What do you mean he's retired?
Red Forrester.
Red Forrester? Oh,
Jesus.
He's dead?
Certainly not listening to Riot.
We'll keep dialing the phone, Wheezy. All right. So there you are. Do you want to hear any more of this?
Sure.
All right.
All in on this.
It's a huge compliment because it shows that my voice has resonated, that my audience has such a reach. I never think of myself in these terms.
Shut up.
You're thinking of yourself in these terms right now, dickhead. So don't say never. You're doing it right now.
Your voice and your audience does not have that big of a reach.
It has a big reach, but
it does. But the average person out there,
yeah.
I've talked to many people over the last few years, and I say, you know who Eddie Trunk is? And most of them say, no. Who's that? Really? And I'm not being a dick about that. Really? I'm being serious. They just like, well, who's that?
Maybe we're just like super locked in on him.
Yeah, unless you're a real hardcore fan of hard rock and heavy metal,
yeah,
you would not know who Eddie Trunk is.
Oh, well. All I need to know to tell me, and I won't get into some shit that I do know because it would be very unethical for me to do, but you can look at the fact that he does not have a super, super wide, huge syndication network, and that tells you about what kind of reach he has.
Yeah. It's a very niche audience.
They say you should never look back, but I've never been good at following orders. I'm Chris Akin, and while most of you know me for the radio and the interviews, I've got a past that would make social justice warriors' heads explode. My latest book, and Other Things I Should Not Say, isn't a self-help manual. It's an autopsy of the years 1986 to 1990. 4 years of sex, booze, and absolute chaos while I was serving in the military in Korea and California. I'm talking about stories that stay buried in the back of your memory because society tells you they're wrong and ugly. Well, I don't live in fear of my past. Every filthy, calloused, and ridiculous moment in this book actually happened, and I'm damn proud to share it. If you're easily offended, keep walking, pal. But if you want to see what happens when you pack a lifetime of dangerous living into just 4 years, head over to Amazon.com or just go to the link in the description and grab yourself a copy today. Both middle fingers are up and the truth is right here. Get some CMS, uncensored, and Other Things I Should Not Say is the book, and it is sure to offend and sicken and make you laugh like you never have before.
If you have, I'll put it this way. In this same genre of DJs per se, a fly-by-night newcomer that's just a musician that decided to have a show, Nikki Sixx has blown him out of the water as far as number of affiliates and number of people that he reaches with his shit show. But the Sixth Sense is on a ton of affiliates.
Yeah.
And Ed Trunk, not. He's on some, but not 100 or whatever.
No.
20. Which is still good. He loves to blow his own horn, that's for sure.
Sure. He's riding the trunk train.
Yeah, he is.
Appreciate everybody that listens to me. I appreciate that over 33 years in the business, I made great connections with people, okay? I appreciate that, but I don't ever take a step back and say, wow, do I really have that sort of influence? But now to think that after all these years, I am so dangerous that
he's dangerous.
Dangerous Eddie Trunk. This big, scary, dangerous man.
What do you mean Red Forrester isn't available?
That's going to be tough.
We're going to get Michelle Meldrum on anytime now.
Good luck.
I'm sure of it.
I must be banned from Kiss Mini Golf and anything. And there's other stories as well. And that, when it got through the food chain and, you can't do that. You can't. Now the ridiculousness of this is the fact that I love objective conversation.
Shut up. Doc McGhee is not running from you, Eddie. I'm sorry to tell you.
He's definitely not.
He's not running from you, Eddie.
Yeah. And and you know what? If Paul Stanley asked him not to appear on this show, which I think is a bit of a reach, but let's just say that is the truth, why would he do it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he cut his throat from a probable mid-7-figure a year salary to show up on Eddie Trunk's show? Right?
I'm going to agree with you.
I mean, don't you think realistically Doc McGhee makes $6 million a year?
Easily.
With Kiss?
Easily.
So if he makes that kind of coin, he's going to, shit that away to do the Eddie Trunk hour? Don't think so. Tell him to call Michelle's eye doctor. Is that too soon?
I love to have the debate and the discussion. I would love to hear Doc counter some of the things that I was going to talk to him about Kiss. I wanted to talk about the good stuff, the not so good stuff, the stuff that I agree with, that I don't agree with, where they're headed from here, could have been a great promotional platform.
What do you mean where they're headed from here? They're out there playing shows. That's where they're headed.
Well, you know what? Maybe you're not seeing it, Neely, but I, being who I am on this show, I see the bigger picture, and I would like to wish Kiss a good retirement, because after losing this promotional platform, clearly their career is over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
A good promotional platform. Kiss needs a good promotional platform. Kiss does? Do you think Kiss would sell 10,000 tickets in any city that they want to play in without any TV or radio?
I think so.
Do you really think that the key to Kiss in 2016 selling tickets is that one appearance on the Eddie Trunk Show? Do you think that's what's holding them back?
No. I'm going to say no.
Is delusional. You know, it's not like he's talking about, I don't know, Hailstorm or something, you know, that needs the promotion.
Sure.
It's fucking Kiss. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have 40 fucking albums. They don't need Eddie Trunk. Maybe that's part of the reason Paul doesn't want to do your show, Ed. Because he doesn't want to deal with somebody who thinks that he's bigger than he is.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Talk about Paul being hypersensitive. Jesus. Sounds like somebody else might be a little hypersensitive here. He probably is available. Is he still alive? I don't even know. Is he still alive?
So Eddie is like thumping his chest.
Yeah.
Showing how dangerous he is.
He is a dangerous man.
Look at Nathan from Kentucky in the chat room. I'm dangerous, bitches.
Right. Eddie is scary dangerous.
Sitting here to do a bash fest. Unfortunately, nobody actually listens to what I say. They just grab headlines from it, and nobody takes the time to actually talk to me about my feelings and how objective.
So now he's the all-knowing.
They just grab the headlines and don't talk to him about his feelings.
Yeah, well, you know, apparently that's what's missing in rock journalism.
His feelings.
I guess every story should be like, headline, Kiss to play London's O2 Arena. As Eddie Trunk says, this is a good move for Kiss. So now that's the move. Anytime you do a story on any band, you have to call Eddie Trunk
and find out what his feelings are about it.
Hey, Eddie, Hailstorm said that they're going to take the winter off and then start their new album. Comment?
No, you can't say comment because that's too direct and to the point. You have to say, what are your feelings about that?
How do you feel about that, Eddie? Think that's a good move? What advice would you give Hailstorm? The hell, man.
Objective I am, and how much credit I do give people, even if I don't agree with what they're doing. And the fact that I am such a threat just because I have an opinion.
Shut up. You're not a threat. Kiss is not going to sell one less ticket because Eddie Trunk said, Doc McGhee hurt my feelings and it didn't come up in my show.
I see the people. Look out your window, dude. Do you see what's out there? It's red. And he's getting his tattoo removed. Apparently, because Kiss didn't do his dumb show.
It's ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Does he really think that? He can't actually think this.
I'm waiting for the punchline. There's got to be a joke here somewhere because he can't not be believing this shit.
If you're waiting for the punchline, just listen to your Extreme records, will you?
Oh, thank you. I will. There is no God.
And you ready for this, guys?
Yes.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Holding on to the desk, Chris?
Yeah, hold on.
Wheezy, get in here and listen to this, man.
All right, Wheezy's ready too.
All right. No, I don't want a double shot of vodka in my drink. All right.
Just sit here and listen.
All right, Wheezy's back in the studio.
All right, good.
Because it's been blown so ridiculously out of proportion. I was an enormous Kiss fan. I have been my whole life. They were my gateway band into music.
So?
His gateway band.
Like a gateway drug?
It's a drug. It's like pot.
What was there before it?
Kiss is the pot of drugs.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay? And I get what they do now. I don't blame them for doing what they do now. I think it's ridiculous, but
What do they do now? They play music? They play their catalog?
He's on the Jackal train.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. He's on the it's not the four original, so it's shit.
Oh, okay.
That part I do know.
But I don't blame them for it. And what they do now, and what I mean by that, is dressing two other guys as Ace and Peter. And I will stand by that for the rest of my life. And here's the other thing.
Uh-oh. He's gonna throw a couple nuggets of wisdom at us.
Hold on, man. This must be serious. His voice is cracking and everything.
Wheezy, on a second thought, give me that second shot of vodka. I can't take this. Right. Wheezy's back in the studio.
All right, good.
A lot of other people think it's ridiculous too. But they're afraid to say it. Tons of bands think it's ridiculous, but they're afraid to say it. The only one who had the balls to say it was Dee Snider, who then went into this huge Twitter war with Paul Stanley over it. And that was a big thing, 6 months ago?
A social media war. Is this
Big,
what we've come down
Twitter
to?
battle.
Is this what life has come down to? Is some digital format where you go, yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Well, fuck you, pal.
Well, no, fuck you, pal.
Well, fuck you, pal. Don't you say fuck me, pal, because we were before you. No, you weren't. We put on makeup before you did. Well, maybe you did, but we're just as cool as you. No, you're not.
Yeah.
We're the originals and you're not. Well, so what? People still come see us. So we're touring like you do. Yeah, but we sell bigger venues than you do.
You may rock and roll all night, but we say you can't stop rock and roll.
Yeah. So fuck you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go visit the I'll meet you at the Starbucks, pal.
See you in a bit.
All right.
And now, interestingly enough, Twisted Sister's last show is in Mexico on the same bill right before Kiss in like a week or two.
Yeah, so that's a week apart. Doesn't mean they'll be crossing in the dressing room.
No, I think he's saying that they're it's the same show.
Yeah. He said
So what?
Yeah.
What? Now they can't. See, Ed, this actually sinks your own ship here, dude. Because if Paul has a problem with D and he's still willing to play the gig, why wouldn't Paul having a problem with you and Doc still be able to do the interview? Right?
You're making too much sense.
Sorry.
Stop it.
Sorry. Didn't mean to make a valid point out of all this nonsense. Yeah, come over here. I've actually got his phone.
I don't know. Maybe Paul's on the phone with that promoter trying to get Twisted Sister removed. I don't know.
No, he's not. Stop it already. This guy is so fucking delusional. He's trying to get them removed from the show.
Well, because if he won't do the Eddie Trunk show, there's no way in hell he'll play a gig with Twisted. What's fucking wrong with him?
So stupid.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
I think this is probably one of the biggest reasons why the classic metal show has morphed into more of a talk show than getting into the stupid music stuff.
Because
it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
It is dumb.
But it's flattering that I have this amount of influence.
Shut up. You don't. Flattering. Doc is not flattering you.
It's moving.
God.
I love this. He's fucking lost his mind. Someone turned the great Eddie Trunk down, and he does not know how to fucking handle it. That's really what this is.
I know.
It's probably the first time in a long time he's been turned down for something, and he just flat out doesn't know how to shut his fucking mouth and move forward. I mean, the way you handle this, Ed, is you don't even mention it. You just like, whatever. Or you just say, you know what, Doc McGhee canceled on us, so we're not going to play any Kiss tonight. Moving on. And you drive through it. And that way you still have the chance, if you really did want to have him on the show, of seeing what the fuck the problem was. But I guess he doesn't want that.
And reach to an audience. It really, really, for me, is extremely complimentary.
Shut up. How big is Eddie Trunk, really?
Oh, about 180 now?
Doesn't have that big of a reach.
Well, Sirius XM has 20 million listeners, 20 million subscribers, and clearly they all listen to him.
Sure.
They're all tuned in.
That instead of just having an adult conversation, you have to run away, run. It's toxic. You want to know how crazy it is? A couple years ago, and by the way, I've heard from so many bands who agree with my position on what Kiss has done with the Impersonation Act.
Shut up.
What does it matter what the other bands think? You know who's the only one that really has a point that fucking matters? The guys in Kiss. If they're still making money, he's the first one to say, well, it doesn't matter wasn't he on the fucking Blotzer train? With these guys should be able to make their own living. Wasn't that him that said that?
Yeah, he had Blotzer on the show with him for an hour and a half.
And he said that, hey, if that's what you got to do to make your own living, so be it, right?
Right.
How's that different than fucking Kiss?
Not at all.
Because of makeup? The makeup is the difference?
The only ones that makes any difference to are the people buying the tickets.
Yeah. The only ones that really care are the really hardcore people.
And the people buying the tickets are still buying out arenas.
Yeah. What difference does it make? You don't like it, so don't fucking go to the show.
Yeah. 10 to 20,000 people are showing up at arenas to see Kiss in their current form.
And they've been doing it even since you've been banned from talking to Paul Stanley there, rock star. Jesus.
And I find it extremely interesting. I would love to have had this conversation with Doc because we all know Kiss is headed to a band that will have no original members soon. So there'd be so many great conversations. By the way, Doc...
What's the conversation? We know the reality of the situation. They were out there playing with Paul and Gene and obviously Tommy Thayer and Eric Carr. Or
Eric
not
Singer.
Eric Singer, what am I thinking?
Hey, Wheezy, get Eric Carr on the phone.
Eric Singer. People know that, at least people who are paying attention, but they still show up for the shows and go to the show because they want to hear the Kiss tunes.
Yeah, and the people that aren't paying attention, they don't give a fuck.
They don't.
If you don't know that Ace Frehley's not in the band, you don't care.
Right.
You just don't care.
Yeah.
You probably don't know Gene Simmons' name. You're just like, yeah, that's that guy, the fire-breathing guy. I like their songs. Hey, yeah!
You've heard me grill your favorite rock stars for 30 years on the Classic Metal Show and Chris Akin Presents. Now it's time to put me to work for you. That's right. I am officially on Cameo, and I'm bringing that same unfiltered, high-octane energy to your personal messages. No fluff, no corporate scripts, just the raw truth. Whether you need to roast a buddy for his terrible taste in music, wish a fellow metalhead a brutal birthday, or get a personalized shout-out that actually has some grit, I have got you covered. Stop sending boring cards. Send a message they'll actually remember. Head on over to cameo.com and just do a search for my name, Chris Akin, A-K-I-N. Let's make something legendary. Get some CMS personalized.
This is an amazing interview.
It
from
is.
Eddie.
Yeah. He's just going on this whole 25-minute rant.
I love this.
Confirmed what I just said on Jericho's podcast. That day is coming soon.
Well, so what?
But I'm the enemy. I can't have this debate.
There's not a debate.
There's not a debate.
The debate is whether people buy tickets to come to the show or not. When the people stop buying tickets to come to the show and the promoter can't afford to bring Kiss into an arena or a stadium or wherever the fuck they're playing, then it's over. It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Right, and two things come immediately to mind. First, he's already had this conversation with someone else. You're admitting to that yourself. And number two, he doesn't need your fucking permission to do this.
There's no debate.
There's no debate. A debate would mean that you're trying to convince somebody of something other than what they're going to do. From a business standpoint, the Eddie Trunk opinion doesn't mean dick.
In this instance, the debate is if the dollars are coming in or not. If the dollars are no longer coming in, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
And
even if it is a problem, that's their problem to have.
It's not a debate.
Maybe I missed something, and Eddie Trunk is somehow part of the Kiss business. But unless he is, then it doesn't mean dick what he thinks, or I think, or you think, or Red and Jerry, or Dee Snider, or Nikki Sixx, or anybody. Right?
I agree. Don't go to the show.
Yeah. Tell your fans not to go.
Yeah, if this is an issue for you and you can't take the fact that there's a Tommy Thayer or Eric Singer in place of Peter and Ace and Peter Criss, then don't go.
Yeah.
I can't have this discussion. And there's so many bands that feel the way I do. I can't tell you how many, and many who have opened for Kiss, who have sat there and told me off the record.
And I'm sure they turned down that money that was offered to them for that opening slot, too. Out of protest, I'm not playing the opening slot because I want to turn down that $15 or $18 or $20,000.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, even if bands are not for it, what difference does that make? They're not the people that are buying the tickets. The opening band is getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of the discussion. Their opinion doesn't matter.
Hey, will you open for Kiss? How much do we get? $20,000. Okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
By the way, we'll take the money and we'll open for you, but we don't like the fact that Ace and Peter is not in the lineup. Okay, duly noted. We'll take that back to Doc.
Yeah.
We'll let him know what your feelings are about this.
Yeah, how about this? How about Ed? If they're telling you in secret, they're a bunch of fucking pussies. And you're a puss for not fucking selling them out. If you're so above the board, if you're so fucking adamant about this and that the discussion needs to be had or whatever, why don't you start selling out some of these people that are talking behind Kiss's back but taking their money? You want to put it all above board? Let's put it above board, dude. Nonsense.
Oh, yeah, man. It's just the hypocrisy of it is unbelievable that you can't, that I am such a threat that even the manager, who has managed countless bands, and of course wasn't just going to talk to Kiss about the band with Doc. Are you kidding me? The stories with Bon Jovi and Motley Crue alone we could have done hours on. But again, I don't blame Doc. I get it. He's got a business to run, and he's got to take his orders from above, apparently.
He's not running away from you, Eddie. Trust me, he's not running away from you.
Maybe Doc thinks he got it all covered on Jericho's podcast, which coincidentally is on the same network as Eddie's. So maybe he just feels like it's, wasting his time doing it twice.
Well, even so, again, if there was really an issue there, like you said earlier,
yeah,
Doc was supposed to be on tonight. We have to reschedule.
Yeah.
I apologize for his absence. I know you were expecting him, but he had to cancel.
You remember when, obviously not as big of a guest, but do you remember when James Rivera canceled on us?
Yeah.
And it was like literally during the show.
Yeah.
This was years ago. It was 2007
yeah,
or something.
it was long. It was like during
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he canceled on us kind of without warning. Now, we could have fucking shit on him, but we didn't know why. So we reached out to him after the show, and we're like, dude, what's up? Can we reschedule? And then we did it the next week, maybe. I forget what it was, but that's how you handle it.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens spur of the moment, you don't know what happened. His car breaks down, or fucking somebody's sick, or got an important meeting that popped up, or whatever. Shit happens. I think I'm not buying this story at all. That it just happened, and he's going on this long of a tirade. The fuck out of here. And how is he so sure?
Thank you, because I never knew. I mean, being banned from Kiss Mini Golf, that's one thing. Nikki Sixx thought that story was hysterical, by the way, for the longest time. He thought that was hysterical.
Now he doesn't?
And it's true. It's all true. All for a kid that just grew up loving Kiss to have it go to this level. So this is what's happened, and I'm straight and honest with my audience. And it's unfortunate, but it's all good. So we're going to talk to you guys about music and move on to other things. In all the years that Kiss has messed with me.
They've messed with you? Have they really taken the time out of their busy day to mess with you?
Yeah, I'm sure Paul sits around anytime he's not on tour thinking of how he can fuck over Eddie Trunk.
Gonna get that guy.
Gonna fucking show him.
Gonna get that guy.
Yeah, pal.
Wouldn't that be a shit if we reached out and tried to get Doc McGhee on and we got him on?
Great.
Wouldn't that be the greatest?
Why don't we do it? Worst he can say is no.
Yeah. Let's look at Doc McGhee on.
Wheeze!
See if Doc McGhee's available. I understand he canceled out on Eddie Trunk, so he's got time on his hands. Wheezy's on the case.
All right, good.
Wouldn't that be a kick in the ass if we had Doc McGhee?
He's so good.
Hey, we heard you canceled out on Eddie Trunk.
Comment?
Who?
Best ever. I wonder if he'd play our audio.
Who knows?
Do you think he would? If Doc said, fuck that guy. Paul told me not to talk to that guy.
Right.
So you think he'd play that audio? I bet he would.
Doc, we heard you canceled out on Eddie Trunk.
Who?
Eddie Trunk.
Who? Trunk? Eddie? Who? Edward Trunk. Who? So one of the best fucking clips ever.
Holy cow.
Metal Ray. That guy was hysterical.
Right, a little more of this. We'll call it a night.
All right.
In these ways, I never, ever let it take away from my fan side that I'll always be a fan. To the point that I even still play their new records on the radio, which nobody does, especially in major markets.
Yeah, pal. I'm it.
I'm the only one. I buy all your records, your dysfunctional release. Nobody's got that except me. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong.
Hey, let me clue Eddie into something. If he's really that powerful, let's just go with the premise that Eddie really is that powerful, okay? Just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If Eddie's really that powerful, wouldn't it make sense for him not to play the record unless they appear on the show?
Right.
No?
I'm holding you hostage, pal.
Isn't that what program directors kind of do? You know, if they want the band on, they say, well, we're only going to play it if you come on.
Right.
That how that works?
Because I got a big platform and a big voice.
Yeah. He still plays it anyway, so
Right.
he cuts his own throat. If they don't have to come on the show and talk to you and you'll still play their shit, that's you being a dummy. Dummy?
To the point that I still do a yearly annual all Kiss radio show.
Well, gee,
Which
Ed, I wonder if that might be part of the deal. Well, how about this? We're not gonna do this stupid dickhead show, but he's still gonna give us a fucking full week of all Kiss music. Thanks, pal. What the fuck? I still do all the things nobody else will do, and therefore they can shit on me for it. Dumb can you be?
Even while I'm still cleaning the cum off the top of my upper lip, I still play their shit.
Wow. You think that's what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Whose cum is it?
Oh, it's a combination of the four.
Oh, you think? I'm gonna go on record saying I doubt he's actually sucked their dicks. I'm gonna make a statement, and I could be wrong.
Well, look at Aora Rocks. Eddie, why did you beat off holding a Kiss poster?
Because why should fans, and I still consider myself one of them, why should fans be penalized for this nonsense?
How are they being penalized?
Well, because they don't have any access to these songs to hear them for themselves.
Stop it.
They don't.
Stop it.
Dude, if it wasn't for Eddie Trump, nobody would even know Kiss had a
They're
new record.
penalized.
No one at all would never understand that that Monster came out.
Right.
It was because Eddie played those songs.
Nobody could go to YouTube or Spotify and go play shit if they didn't want to buy it.
Yeah, nobody subscribed to Kiss's YouTube channel or anything like that to where they would see a new video.
Penalized. If you didn't hear it here, you're not going to hear it at all.
When's the last time you listened to a Kiss album?
It's been a long time.
What do you think? A year, 2 years?
Hey, Wheezy, get Mark St. John on the phone, will you? He's still working on it.
All right, good. Oh, did you say it's been 2 years?
At least.
So we'll say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you definitely listened to a Kiss album.
Yes, I have, yes.
Okay. When you pulled up that Kiss record and you played it, was it because Eddie Trunk told you to?
No, of course not.
Was it because you heard a Kiss song on Eddie Trunk and then you were like, fuck yeah,
no.
dude, I can play me some Kiss?
No.
You just got it in your own head that you wanted to hear some Kiss. I'm going to imagine it was revenge.
Yeah, well,
I
had a story lined up for tonight, actually, that actually reminded me of a Kiss song.
Okay.
And I was going to play, we were going to talk about the story tonight, but the headline of the story reminded me of a Kiss song, and I actually wanted to play the song because it reminded me of it.
Okay.
Not because of Eddie.
No. So his thought that no one listens to Kiss unless he reminds
more or less, they're being penalized.
But thank God he says it once a year and plays this tribute show to Kiss.
Right.
So people remember they're a band and pull out one of their 40 albums.
Right.
Wow. That's an awful lot of ego going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It might be starting to be time to rethink that a little bit.
Oh!
Because after 33 years, maybe, I'm so powerful that maybe I just will, flex my muscle a little bit.
In fairness, I think he's joking a little bit here.
I know. I could hear the chuckle in his voice, but holy shit.
Flex his muscle.
Flex his muscle.
That'll be like one of those dropping things in those Popeye commercials.
Right.
Remember those Popeye shows?
Yes.
Like when the arm dropped down?
Mm-hmm.
That's about what Kiss will see.
Boo.
Ooh. What a douchey thing to say. He's going to flex his muscle.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He's such a big, powerful voice.
Shut up.
It's ridiculously comical. Last thing I'll tell you is I had this is how silly it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I met with Gene Simmons about 3 years ago maybe. There's an event called the Golden Gods. I'll tell you that story when we come back, and we'll take some of your calls. Alex is telling me we got to go to a break. So let's just break. We'll come back.
All right, Eddie. I think your producer's telling us time to go.
Yeah, time for you to go.
So you didn't hear any of this before, huh?
No, I really did not.
Holy cow.
I love it, though. Nice work, Ed. You filled an hour and a half for us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. He's so scary, talented, important.
He really is.
Oh, my God.
Corey sent me a message, says his milk toast segments made me sick. Fucking hates Eddie Trunk.
I guess.
He does not like Edster.
Especially the kind of scratch he's put out over the years.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a lot of cash.
He didn't get paid back very well by Eddie.
Not at all. That's a nice amount of cake that guy put out.
Yeah. He, what was the saying that you said before? Because that reflected our good friend Corey. Wouldn't say he had shit in his mouth.
Yeah. He wouldn't say shit even if it had a mouthful of it.
That's usually Corey.
Yeah.
But he'll talk shit about Ed.
Oh, boy. What is the matter with this guy?
I don't know. He definitely thinks he is the shit.
Yeah, well. I'll have to respectfully disagree.
I think he's fantastic.
Okay.
His podcast is good. I will continue to say that till the cows come home. His podcast is good. It's a good listen.
When he gets on these kind of jags, though, it's ridiculous.
Oh, no, this is where he just proves that he's a delusional fucking jizz bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of what he's saying here is half kidding, but to even say it means that it's only half kidding. There's a moniker of truth in what he's saying here. He does believe that he's fucking scary talented.
Yeah.
And scary powerful within the music world. And he's got his place. But look, your power when you were the only show, the only TV show, got canceled and no one else picked it up. Sorry, dude. That's how much power you have. You were that metal show was the only show of its kind. And you were the face of it, and guess what? It didn't get picked up anywhere else. You're overestimating the power of the trunk.
Right.
You know, and I'm not even saying that the show was bad or he's bad or anything. I'm just saying that his estimation of the mass power is like, wow, dude.
It's a very niche market.
Yeah.
Very niche.
Mm-hmm. Take it easy with your overestimation of yourself.
Right. Which is where we're at. We have a very niche market.
Exactly. We have no overestimate. We know we stink.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's a core group of hardcore fans, a very niche group that listen to us.
Yeah.
And we know that won't go any bigger than that.
You've listened to the interviews, but you haven't heard the whole story. I'm Chris Akin, and I'm inviting you to get behind the curtain. The Classic Metal Show is now on Substack, and if you aren't a VIP subscriber, you are missing out on the real meat of these conversations. We're talking about VIP exclusive content, extended interviews, raw industry takes, and the type of high-octane access that my 30 years in this business gets you. Don't just be a fan, be an insider. Get the unfiltered, world-class rock and metal content you crave without the corporate filters. Go to cmspn.substack.com and upgrade to VIP today. That's cmspn.substack.com. Own your access.
Yep, and we're fine with that. We're surprised it's gotten bigger.
Actually, we are.
I am. I'm stunned.
I am too. So it's a niche market. It's a small collective of people worldwide that choose to listen to us, and we're grateful for it.
Yeah, and he should be grateful for what he has. But
he gets paid something for what he does.
Yeah, and for this whole thing about influence, and shut up. Just fucking play your songs, interview whoever comes by. You know, you've got better contacts than everybody, so bring in Slash and bring in whoever, you know, Brian Johnson, and be happy.
Yeah.
You know, so what? You got one guy that doesn't want to do your show, so fucking what? Why is he so stuck on that? You know, I mean, honestly, he's got a lot better contacts than I do, and basically I book our show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got better contacts than I do, and I know that. And, you know, if I ran around all the time saying, well, this is bullshit, man. How come I can't get fucking Ozzy? You know, I would fucking make myself crazy.
And plus, we're not located in the New York or LA market.
Yeah, but even if we were, we know people that are.
Yeah, but if you had the access of an LA or a New York market,
I'd probably get all these.
Yeah,
guys.
We'd be fine. But we're not. We're located in the Midwest, and we're remote, and we're all these other things. And again, I'm not making excuses. It's just that when you live in New York or you live in LA and you have access to that, you could be much bigger.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, and I just don't. I can't figure out why he's so fixated on Paul Stanley. You know, it sounds like he could get Gene Simmons. So why do you need Paul Stanley? Just to say you did it? I mean, is that it?
I'm not really sure.
You know, so, I don't know. He's just whatever. Have at it, Ed. Just keep doing a good podcast and entertaining me an hour a week. Thank you.
Sure. All right, well, let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.
All right, I want to thank our good friend Eric Braverman for calling in. I will be live remote from Phoenix, Arizona next Saturday. Chris will be with Rob
Kern, the Omam himself.
Okay, Omam is going to be taking the CMS co-host chair. I will be out in Phoenix. I will call in. We'll do something. I'm not exactly sure what.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, Omam is going to be in and rocking Randy Trask.
Nice. Make sure you got a lighter and plenty of,
Like you really think he shows up unprepared?
And then we want to thank Phil Anselmo.
And that's name Phil.
Yeah, for calling in and being part of the show, and everybody who's tuned in, and Eddie Trunk.
Yeah,
for basically proving me right.
Nice.
And of course, our good friend Scribble.
Yeah,
he's got a new CD out.
Yeah, Drug Spun Funk.
And go check that out if you're a rap fan. And even if you're not, just buy one song off iTunes. Just show some support for CMS alumni.
Yeah. CMS guy. He's done the rap for us.
Mm-hmm.
One song. You fucking cheap fucks can spend $1.
Yeah, 99 cents or whatever.
Yeah, $1.
Yeah. So,
Just
all right. Well, I will be in Phoenix next Saturday. Chris will be doing the show live, and we'll make it happen. So, thank you for everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday. Vote your conscience. That is Trump. And make America great again.
all right.
So a band who has made America great or made themselves great through American commerce.
Okay.
It's Kiss.
Yes.
I'm going to play something from their Animalize release, probably one of their most commercial MTV favorite tracks.
All right.
Cheesy as it is, I like this song, so I'm going to play it.
All right. Good.
So we're going to get out of here with some Kiss. This is Heaven's on Fire. So until next Saturday night, this is Neely along with my very good friend
Chris Akin.
We're gone.
Like it.